welcome back. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about plants again, and I wanted to give you some suggestions of easy plants that you probably, no guarantees from me though, probably won't kill. And I wanted to skip over the really basic ones that you've probably heard before, like pothos and snake plants. If you're someone who is inclined to butchering your plants, these options shouldn't really be a problem for you at all. If you're new to my channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, and if you want to check out more of my planty sort of things, jump on over to my Instagram, which is at Rachel Aust. The first little guy that I wanted to talk about is an umbrella plant. These guys usually enjoy pretty bright light, like obviously not direct sun, but reasonably bright light. Without the bright light, they'll still grow, but they'll grow a lot slower, and they'll also grow what you call leggy, where there's more stem and the leaf distribution is a little bit off. I have this great big variegated one in my kitchen, and this has grown so fast, and I have a little regular one, I guess you'd call it. This one doesn't seem to need any regular fertilizer, but every now and again won't hurt it. Of course, you don't need to get into that too much in the winter months, but in summer and spring, every now and again, it will do it some good. You do also want to make sure that you are dusting the leaves of this plant because there is so much foliage. Now we have a ZZ. If you watched my last plant video, you would know that I said this guy will practically grow in a cupboard. These ones are fine with low light. So if you had something like a bathroom with a small window, unfortunately my bathroom has no window, a plant like this will be fine in there. This is one of those plants that is prone to overwatering, so don't show it too much love. Pull back a little bit. It does better with less water, and I don't mean just dry it out completely, like, you know, but my one, I probably only water it once a fortnight. Having a little bit of humidity can improve this plant as well. I do have a humidifier near mine. But yeah, overwatering is probably a common killer for this one, so don't go nuts. I love this plant, heartleaf philodendron. Don't put it in direct sunlight, but if you can give it bright indirect sunlight, it will grow quickly for you. It can tolerate lower light, but again, you'll end up with that effect where it gets leggy and has more stems and less foliage. This is the kind of plant that you do want to trim every now and again as well, just to keep it looking full. That's if you want it looking full. Like if you want it trailing like a long vine, then don't trim it. Use a well aerated potting mix, or like I did, I created a blend. So mine also has, I believe, some peat moss and perlite in there too. You don't want to repot it unless it is root bound. By that I mean you need to see that the roots are sort of overtaking the bottom part of the pot. So if you want to check this, simply squish the pot. If it's in a nursery pot still, gently pull it out and check if it's root bound or not. If it's not root bound, it's probably fine in the container that it's in and doesn't need to be upsized just yet. This one is also incredibly easy to propagate, so you know, if you want to go down the road of, you know, taking a cutting, putting it in the rooting medium and then growing it, you can do that, but you can also just pop it in water, allow it to grow some roots, and then plant it into soil. Okay, this interesting looking one is called, well, it's nicknamed a fat plant. I'm gonna put the real name on the screen because I butcher it every time, and that's it. I'm just gonna write the name. So it has this crazy base on it, and just looking at this alone, I hope you realize it doesn't need very much water at all. This plant gets watered once a month. When I got it, it had a couple of little green shoots on it and 2 dying leaves, so I chopped everything back and I just left it as that bare bulb, and within a matter of weeks, all new stems had shot out. Like, it shot out all these runners, it grew all these leaves on it, and I was like, wow, this thing is actually really quick and it doesn't require much attention. So if you're someone who is after a really low maintenance plant, this one is cool. I have mine set up on our coffee table, so it gets window light from a big double door and a window pretty much all day. I will probably eventually need to move mine up into a bigger container. Like if you want that base of it to get any bigger, it does need more room to grow. Now this is nicknamed a mini monstera. The name for it is a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and I probably killed that as well. I have 2 of these. They used to be really quite hard to find, but they're getting easier and easier to find. They're really, really simple to care for. It doesn't require much effort at all. They do like soil that is quite high in organic matter, and I think it's also important to give it something to climb up, whether it's like a stick or a pole. Like, I'll show you the difference. I have one which has nothing to climb up, or if maybe I need to look at that again. Maybe it has a tiny stick. I don't know. It doesn't have much. And the leaves just, it kind of just like pops out a new one, and they're kind of laying flat over each other. And then I have this other one with a moss pole, and although it hasn't wrapped any roots around it or anything yet, it's leaning against it, and I don't know if that's helping, but apparently they like to have things to climb up. They tend to enjoy having a bit of fertilizer in the spring and the summer. When it becomes root bound, you want to upgrade this one to a bigger pot. If you can give the roots more room to grow, the plant will obviously grow bigger. Alright, so some other ideas for you. You could go for simple things like aloe vera, like I mentioned at the start of the video, snake plants, pothos, and things like succulents. These are all plants which are super easy to care for, and the 5 that I've talked through, I feel like they're easy, but I feel like they're not ones that you see all the time. And that's what I wanted to tell you guys about, is some ones that you don't see everywhere, because it's cool to have ones that look different. Like, that's what I enjoy. I enjoy having a variety of different plants around because they're all very interesting to look at. If you're after some general care tips and you haven't seen my last video yet, I will link that in the description box. Make sure you check that one out, and I will catch you guys in my next upload. Bye!